because this is not about content for me. I know the person who needs to hear this is gonna hear this. I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you. And it's insane how these things that have happened in your own mind, you are now coming at me.
Yesterday I filed a police report. She avoided using my name so she can claim plausible deniability. I think that part's somewhat interesting. She might have used that tactic, being like, "Oh, Your Honor, I never said Tectone. I was referring to somebody else." Again, I'm not a lawyer, but from my good script of her character, being someone like, schizo eagle, yeah, she really would fit that criteria, in my opinion. Just saying. Time to talk about some big allegations. Okay, so one controversy that's being carried over from 2024 is the allegations against Tectone made from his ex-girlfriend, Pingchu. And although I say controversy, this already started in like the lowest form possible, coming from a tweet being sent around and then reaching Tectone, where he simply just denied it, and that's it. And when I first looked into it, honestly, I was believing Tectone because Pingchu showed no proof at all. And in the beginning stages, that's fine. It's okay to wait a bit longer, before being more public with other stuff, either because you want to feel more comfortable or, due to legal reasons. That's fine. But even now, after nearly 3 months, we haven't seen anything. Like, the most that's come from this is, just Tectone talking about it. Like, I'm pretty sure, there's something big I've missed, at least not like major stuff that would change the direction of the story. One thing I will bring up later is a semi-short tweet that Tectone made himself, because it's a pretty digestible version of everything he has to say. But anyways, now I'm talking about this again because there seems to finally be a step in an actual significant direction, where Pingchu claims that he filed a police report, obviously against Tectone. So let's get into, and talk about what this could go next. Right, so similar to like other Pingchu tweets, it's all, her announcements are very simple, where the police report came from this. Just a simple tweet. Yesterday I filed a police report, and my duty with this is this image right here, and also the lack of what it could be, replaced with a much better image. Because what I would have liked to see is, a picture of the actual report. But not everything, of course. You would have to censor some parts that are very private or significant. But a simple picture, of what the police gave you and what you wrote down, like the file case number, whatever, that would have been good. But yeah, there's something here. So, at this point, it leads me to say, that this, her filing a police report is, allegedly, because there's no proof. And like I said before, my shooter's image, is the implication, or, the sympathy it tries to garner, being like, oh my god, guys, out of every 1,000 sexual assaults, at best, 975 perpetrators will walk free. And it goes like a reverse pyramid. 310 report to police, 50 reports lead to arrest, 28 cases will lead to felony conviction, and 25 perpetrators will be incarcerated. Right, here's the issue. Like, step number 1, just because you file a police report doesn't mean evidently that the crime did happen. It's time. It really takes a while, before the police do anything. It is unfortunate, but in this case, they look at what you sent. They look at some evidence that you might have provided, and then they look into it, and that's when you consider this part of being incarcerated. Because unfortunately, due to modern justice, there is a phrase where you're innocent until proven guilty. So I feel bad for any person that has been sexually assaulted and they don't get the perpetrator arrested. But at the same time, it can't just be complete anarchy, where you file a police report, then they get arrested right then and there. So yeah, I will be interested to see where how Tectone responds to this, because for the very beginning of this controversy, he has been denying everything he says, because like I said, there's been no proof at all. Even in this simple case where you could just send a picture of the police report, even that hasn't been done. And from what I'm seeing on his actual Twitter account, Tectone's Twitter, he made this tweet right after, a couple hours before it, or after, sorry, just saying, "Do I look like I give a fuck? Anyways, gonna chill on stream and play woo." Whatever the fuck that is. That might be his reaction to it, I don't know. But yeah, if he gives an actual response, it'll probably be the same as before, which just says, "You're full of shit, please, just come out and say it's slander. You're trying to tear me down because you have no actual case. Because, I've done nothing that you claimed I've done on you. But in terms of Tectone's response, like I said, he's put way more effort into this for mainly two reasons. Only one good reason, being that he's the one being accused. It's his career being thrown through the dirt. And the second reason being one that I believe more so than I can prove. But clearly he gives more of a shit about this. With Pingchu, she only put up a tweet alleging some stuff with no actual proof. Meanwhile, Tectone has been spending countless VODs, countless streams talking about it, denying it, and also spending time elaborating what each allegation is and how it's based on nothing, because whatever's being accused of him has never happened. And people have been against him. Oh, then why don't you show some proof about it? But then at the same time, he did make a good point, saying how it's very hard to prove a negative. He can prove he was being abusive, in DMs to her, because those don't exist. Or at least he's alleging that. Anyway, I do feel bad for him, because even if you try to back up a narrative, the real reality where he's being nice, just showing DMs, people would be like, oh well, that doesn't shut down the reality of you being mean to her, being emotionally abusive. We don't have proof of that yet, and they're selecting Pingchu has a way better case when even though she hasn't shown anything at all just yet. But yeah, this was the tweet I was referring to, talking about the cheating allegations, accusation of bullying, the NDA lie, or all of this stuff. And again, just all of this, just being shut down, saying it's bullshit, which fair enough. One part I think is interesting was this part right here, this small sentence. She avoids using my name so she can claim plausible deniability. I think that part's somewhat interesting. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just some globe shit or commentary channel. But I think that's interesting, because that is true. Throughout this whole story, whatever she tweeted out about him is, it's mainly been because, people just connect the dots. Obviously, they did it before, from what we believe, he's the last big guy, she was dating. When she's, calling Wolf, how about how he was abused, and, sexually assaulted, of course, it's referring to Tectone, because that was the last guy, we've seen her with. However, any actual mention of just the name Tectone has never really been brought up, at least in her tweets. So I think in reality, if this ever went to court, she might actually use that tactic, being like, "Oh, Your Honor, I never said Tectone. I was referring to somebody else." Even though again, this is my assumption of a character. But if the court was on her side, she would keep on digging the spear into him, being like, "No, I was referring to him." And then the second that she gets some shit from the judge, she'd be like, I was never referring to him, Your Honor. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but from my good script of a character, being someone schizo eagle, yeah, she really would fit that criteria, in my opinion. Just saying. So yeah, at this point, I am in support of Tectone, because he's the one being thrown through the grinder. However, with stories like this, we really have to wait for the whole thing to play out before really taking sides, because there is a pretty, I think right now it's a good 20, 30, 40% chance that she could come out with the most damning Google Doc against them with all the evidence that we wanted since the very beginning. That could happen. It hasn't just yet, but we can't say definitively that it won't ever. So at this current date, on the 24th of January 2025, yeah, I am supportive of him and I feel bad for him. And that was something I was considering when with the lack of evidence that she's been showing Pingchu throughout this whole story, it made me wonder, what direction is she heading in? Does she want you to do a lawsuit, or is she planning to make it very public, make a huge Google Doc with all the evidence? Because nothing she's said or done indicates either of those. If she wants to do a lawsuit, she would have done one long before, back in November, but she hasn't, or she hasn't made it public, or neither has Tectone confirmed that at all. And if she wants to make a Google Doc, she hasn't done it just yet, even though that would be the simplest one. It would damage the chance of what would you get from a lawsuit against them. But yeah, multiple people before in the past, as we all know, have gotten the story out there via Google Docs, or a form with all the evidence just crammed in there, and it doesn't lead to a lawsuit, but it does lead down to the downfall of the person's career, which could happen. But yeah, neither of those have been indicated to happen. So, in conclusion, now wrapping up, this is still going nowhere. Like I when stuff like this, just stays in limbo, heads in no direction. Because if there is some wrongdoing, nobody gets arrested. And if it's just slander, then the accuser, should come out and, apologize for the damage done to the person's reputation for Tectone. And also, Pingchu legitimately has like the upper hand if she is malicious, because he's a random glub shitto whose only notoriety comes from the fact that he dated Tectone, and that's it. If this was like another streamer, as popular as him, then yeah, there would be a bigger demand to make her, be more direct and come out with their own evidence of what they're claiming and alleging. But with all that said, if he does come out to be a victim, then yeah, I will retract anything I said about her now and before, like calling her like a schizo eagle. I'll take it back. And again, at this point, it's very hard for me to believe someone when they're taking this stuff, the allegations, at a snail's pace, and all mentions of evidence have just been a tweet and a alleged police report, and just that. Like, yeah, it just feels like it's going nowhere.